Hi everyone. Whenever we study crystal field theory, after learning the concepts and splitting of d orbitals, we will be learning about T2G EG electron distribution in octahedral field and calculation of CFSE. This fundamental concept is very useful in understanding various aspects of coordination chemistry. Let us see how. First, the calculation of crystal field stabilization energy in a low spin state and in high spin state will be done. And this calculation is very useful in understanding the cation distribution in spinels. The EG electron distribution is very useful in understanding the Jahn-Teller distortion, and T2G electron distribution is very useful in understanding the magnetic property. The overall labile and inert nature of the complexes towards the substitution reactions can be understood from T2G EG electron distribution, and the same is also very useful for understanding the outer sphere or inner sphere mechanism during the redox reaction. So there are so many concepts that are related to the very simple concept of T2G EG electron distribution and calculation of CFSE. So this is what in the entire course we are going to see how they are related. With this simple concept, we can do many problems in coordination chemistry. First, let us just review the d orbital splitting in octahedral and tetrahedral field. This is what is given here. The d orbitals in octahedral field will be split into T2G set and EG set. T2G is lowered in energy, and EG, which are towards the axis, the orbitals which are towards the axially oriented, are raised in energy. Similarly, in tetrahedral field, the E orbitals are lowered in energy and T2 orbitals are raised in energy. The splitting energy in octahedral field is given as delta naught, and the splitting energy in tetrahedral field is given as delta T. Now this is the one which shows what is the calculation of crystal field stabilization energy on the in the case of octahedral field as well as in the case of the tetrahedral field. Now the tetrahedral splitting energy is very less compared to the octahedral splitting energy, and this is given by delta T is equal to 4 by 9 delta naught. The other important point that we can note here is the high spin or weak field formation of complexes or low spin complexes in the case of strong field of the ligands. What is this? This is nothing but usually when the electrons are filled in the respective T2G EG orbitals or E and T2 orbitals, it follows Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. That is, the first electrons will enter into the T2G orbital, and after the T2G orbital is singly filled, then it will go to EG orbital. Then after the D5 system, when it comes to D6, then the pairing of electrons take place. This happens only when delta naught value is very less. But when the delta naught value is very high, that is when the splitting is very high, then what happens is the T2G orbital will be first filled. I mean, after D3, when the D4 comes, the T2G orbital will be filled. The pairing of electrons take place because since the EG orbital are very high in energy, the electrons cannot go to that orbital. So the pairing of electrons take place in T2G itself. So this leads to low spin. That is, there is a quenching of spin. So this leads to low spin state. This occurs only in the case of whenever the ligand is strong. And also we know that the tetrahedral complexes will be mostly high spin complexes because the delta T is very small compared to delta naught. So most of the time the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity will be followed in the case of tetrahedral field. This is the a table containing the electron distribution in the octahedral field alone, and here the high spin electron distribution as well as the low spin electron distribution and the corresponding CFSE calculations are also shown here. Now we see that the CFSE values will be differing only for D4 to D7 system, whereas for D1 to D3 and D8 to D10, both in high spin state as well as in the low spin state, the electron distribution as well as the CFSE remains the same. Now, what are the observations that we make from this table? The first observation is the negative values of CFSE indicates that the cations are more stabilized in the octahedral field. So here we see that except in the case where the the CFSE value is 0 in D5 high spin and in D10 high spin as well as low spin where the CFSE value is 0, in all other cases the CFSE value is negative. This shows that the cation is more stabilized in the octahedral field. The next point is higher the negative CFSE value when the electrons are in the T2G orbital, and this stabilizes the cation. So here also we can see that when the electron is in T2G, the CFSE value is highly negative. That too, especially in the case of low spin till D6 configuration, we see that the CFSE value is very high and it goes to minus 2.4 delta naught. Then the next point is when the electrons are filled up in EG orbitals, there is a decrease in CFSE value. The decrease here refers to the magnitude and or we can also call it as destabilization of the cation. So here we see that the T2G3 here is minus 1.2 delta naught CFSE value, but once the electron enters into the EG orbital, there is a drastic change in there is a drastic decrease in the CFSE value. So which means that the electrons are the cation is destabilized once it enters into the EG orbital. Here also we can see that in the case of low spin, T2G6 has the CFSE value of minus 2.4 times delta naught, whereas once the electron enters into the EG orbital, there is a drastic decrease in the CFSE value. That means there is some amount of destabilization that is introduced. The next point is the fourth one. From D4 to D7, the T2G electron distribution of electrons differ for high spin and low spin cases. So this is alone marked here, whereas in all other cases from D1 to D3 and D8 to D10, in both the cases, in high spin case as well as in the low spin case, the CFSE value remains the same, whereas the CFSE values and the T2G EG electron distribution differs only from D4 to D7. Next one is comparatively cations are more stabilized in the low spin state than in the high spin state. So here we can see that for same configuration, the CFSE value is for D4 it is minus 0.6 delta naught, whereas in the case of low spin case it is minus 1.6 delta naught. So which means that the cation in D4 when it is in low spin state or associated with a strong field ligand, it is more stabilized. This is throughout the same up to D6. So the cations are more stabilized. Sorry, it is true up to D7 because the cations are more stabilized in the low spin state or whenever the ligand field strength is high. So these are the observations that we make from the crystal field stabilization energy values. Now this is what we are going to use in most of the problems. So we will see how we are going to use it in our problem based on CFSE values. Thank you so much. Hi, now we will do some problems related to CFSE calculations. The first one is the CFSE on the units of delta naught for the complex COF3H2O thrice. There are so many options given. Now how to approach this problem? When there is only one parameter or there is only one compound, it is better that we treat the problem as the fill in the blanks, because here the answer will be direct answer, and we cannot do the elimination of wrong answer or 50-50 choices like that. So it is better to approach the problem as a fill in the blanks problem. So now how can we approach now? Cobalt is in +3 oxidation state and both the ligands are weak field ligands. So now we have to, in the earlier video, we have seen that how quickly we have to remember the oxidation state and the corresponding d electron configuration and the distribution of electrons between T2G and Eg. Cobalt is 27. So in +2 state it will be D7, or in +3 state it will be D6, and it is weak field, so it is a high spin complex. So the distribution of electrons will be T2G4 and Eg2. Just calculate the CFSE value by substituting directly in the formula. You will get the 0.4 delta naught. The formula that was given in the earlier video is the one that I normally use, because that will directly give whether the CFSE value will be negative or positive. There are so many different formulas that are available in different books, but sometimes we need to add minus or plus after the calculation. So that will lead to some confusion. That is why I always use the formula that I have given in the earlier video. So the answer is 0.4 delta naught. So the answer here is B. Let us go to the second problem. A CFSE value will be highest for which of the four complexes here? Now let me not calculate the CFSE value at all. Even without calculating the CFSE value, we can get the answer. How? For the first complex, cobalt 3 plus, it is a weak field ligand, so it is high spin D6. The second complex is a tetrahedral complex. So we know that tetrahedral delta T value is very less. So we are not going to calculate we are not going to bother about the CFSE value for the second one. The third one is MnH2O 6 times 2 plus. Manganese is in 2 plus oxidation state. It is S2D5. So it is a high spin D5 complex. The distribution is T2G3 Eg2. The last one is CONS3 6 times 3 plus. Here the cobalt is in low spin state and cobalt 3 plus is a D6 ion. So the electron distribution will be T2G6. So now just looking at the T2G Eg distribution itself, we can know that the CFSE will be highest for the last one, because we know that once the electron enters into the Eg orbital, then there will be destabilization or decrease in the CFSE value. So the answer is D. The next problem is the third problem here is the CFSE for the following D3 metal ions. The metal ions given are V2 plus, Cr3 plus and MO3 plus. This is a very tricky question because they have given the metal ion here. It is D3. So which means that all these are D3 ions. Then how are we going to calculate, or how are we going to find out what is the CFSE value? So how we are going to find out? The CFSE value is going to be the same, minus 1.2 delta naught. So which means that the delta naught is the one which actually decides whether the CFSE value is going to be high or low. So the delta naught value not only depends on the field strength, it also depends on the charge of the metal ion, and also whether the metal ion is present in the first row or in the second row or in the third row of the D block. So here we will see the ions that are given here. The first one is V2 plus. This belongs to 3D series and it is in +2 oxidation state. And the Cr3 plus is also from 3D series. So both are present in the same series. So higher the oxidation state, higher will be the CFSE, because higher the oxidation state, more will be delta naught, because when the oxidation state is higher, the nuclear charge is higher, so it will interact more with the incoming ligands, so the splitting is higher. When the splitting is higher, this refers to delta naught is higher. When delta naught is higher, CFSE will be higher. So the CFSE will be higher for chromium than for vanadium. Now let us compare between chromium and molybdenum. Chromium and molybdenum both belong to the same group, but chromium is in 3D series, whereas molybdenum is in the second row of the D block or 4D series. Now when you come down the group, the delta naught increases. What happens now? The d electrons of the molybdenum are present in the fourth shell. So the 4d orbital is more diffused in space. So that means it can interact more with the incoming ligands. So the delta naught is going to be more for molybdenum 3 plus. So as the delta naught is higher, CFSE also will be higher. So MO3 plus is having higher CFSE value than Cr3 plus. So here I want to make a note that the 4d and 5d metal ions will have higher delta naught values, and mostly they will form low spin complexes. This concept will be using many times in the different problems. So the answer here is molybdenum is the highest one, then comes the chromium, then comes the vanadium 2 plus. So the correct option is C. The next problem is a very tricky problem. Here also the titanium aqua complex is given and its lambda max value is given. It is for the DD transition, it is 20,000 centimeter inverse. So what is the corresponding CFSE value? So as I said always earlier, when there is only one parameter and one compound, better to approach it as the fill in the blanks problem. So now here the solution is titanium in 3 plus oxidation state is 21. Titanium atomic number is 22, which means that S2D2, and in 3 plus state it will be D1. The CFSE value will be minus 0.4 delta naught. So here the delta naught value is 20,000 because there is only one electron, and this electron is transferred during the excitation from T2G to EG. So it directly gives the splitting energy between the E2G set and the T2G set and the EG set. So the value here is 20,000 centimeter inverse. So that has to be substituted in the place of delta naught, and you get the value minus 8,000 centimeter inverse. So this is what I said. The other distractor that is present in the problem is plus 8,000 centimeter inverse. So unless we know that the CFSE value is negative, we might be choosing this option. So we have to be very careful when we are calculating the CFSE itself. It is minus 0.4 delta naught. So the answer is minus 8,000 centimeter inverse. So the correct answer is D. So thank you so much. There are so many problems that are given in the assignments. It is a very simple approach that you can use it for. Hi everyone. Whenever